Da-da-na-na-na-na. 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 Something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call? Jack Lindsay. A little nostalgic there for you. How you guys doing? How's it going? So how many of you are now on the Lindsay train, huh? You're only a true Ghostbusters fan, though. Excuse me. If you watch the cartoon and you had the giant, my neighbor had the giant, the car, what was it called? The Ecto One, the old fire station, right? You know, they had my neighbor Brian had the toy, had the whole thing with the. It was great. It was great. Good times. Missed the '80s. Good stuff. What's going on, Sean Norris, Austin Shyrock, Barry Lunney Jr. needs to be fired in all caps. Let's see. Now the negative trash cans show up. Uh-oh. What's up, Ty? What's going on, Josh? How you doing, buddy? How's it going? Welcome to the Picture Network live show. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. Remember to like, comment, share the content. Feel free to tap the subscribe button for those of you who have not. I feel like the majority of you have, but in case you just happen to stumble upon this video, this live stream, and you're like, wait a minute, what's this all about? Tap the subscribe button, and please feel free to check out all the links down below. Special shout out to our Patreon supporters and to everybody who has donated to the channel. Really do appreciate it. They covered and won money on it. They did cover. They covered the spread. What's up, Ty? How's it going, Kyle? QTZ, what's up? The real Ghostbusters, hell yeah. We did cover. Told you guys. It's rare that anybody, like 35 points is a spread that teams struggle to reach. LSU fans lost money. Sure did. Someone did. Some Hog fans too. Some people who were hating. Some people that were doubting. Don't doubt. Although I haven't had the best year when it comes to coverage. Let's see. I quit watching at the halftime. Who's Jack Lindsay and what did he do? Turn off notifications so I could play NCAA football 14 in peace. Oh, can I just say really quick, for anybody who's played the NCAA football franchise from Electronic Arts long enough, and I'm not saying that you Celtics for life. I'm not saying that you support the game. That is the most ass garbage NCAA football game ever made. NCAA 14 is trash. I hate how they changed the recruiting mechanics. It's just the glitches. I can't ever. Anytime I play fake out of shotgun, my quarterback gets stuck and he's just holding on to the ball and it looks like he's galloping to the side. It's so glitchy. God, I hate NCAA 14 so much. Why was that the last one they left us with? Okay. So Lindsay does come in. Let's start from the beginning, even though we already covered that on the Hog Talk podcast halftime show. Arkansas comes out. They actually played pretty damn physical on offense. Like, it looked like they wanted it. KJ came out looking okay. LSU gave Arkansas a second chance when they hit KJ, when they made it was a terrible call, by the way. I'm sorry. Not a good call, but defender happened to tap or hit KJ in the legs, and that's not, that's a penalty. Like I've said, and I've complained about it here often, just the game of football and the way it's geared now, like you can't even look at a quarterback, without drawing a penalty. But anyways, that gives Arkansas a second opportunity, and, they're able to get some points on the board. And LSU stumbles over their own feet. Arkansas makes a couple of plays on defense, and then they just collapse. And then eventually LSU just bodies them at the line of scrimmage. Look, what happened tonight shouldn't have shocked anybody. If you're coming out mad and angry and, spitting fire, where have you been? This team, what we saw was a reflection of what has happened all season long. And another thing, the players didn't play. As soon as the lead got up to like 21 or 24, 25. Once the lead started adding on, they were done. Defense checked out. Typical Chavis defense. They're done. They were done by the third quarter, letting LSU do whatever the hell they wanted. We've seen this time and time again, not just being out of position, not just being out of place, but just not really giving a damn. They can't get any push on the line of scrimmage. Defensive line is atrocious. Well, line of scrimmage, period. Offensive and defensive line is terrible. But that quarter and a half, it was like, wait a minute. If they can do this for another quarter and they can actually put together and finish a drive. I had some of you asking me in the first quarter, what are the odds that Arkansas is able to maintain drives if they, if KJ didn't slide or if Burks didn't step out of bounds a half a yard shy of the first down marker, or what would have happened? And it's like, is there anything that you've seen this year that tells you that they could finish a drive? Have you seen anything this year that tells you, you know what? Yeah, no, they could have done something there. No. Now, when LSU decided to sub out and they already had a huge lead in the second half, yeah, you bring in a quarterback. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that Ed Orgeron had no idea who Lindsay is, had no idea he was even on the roster. He wasn't listed. And he comes in, he looked great. No offense to that kid. He looked great. Lindsay looked good. But it's just more of the same, and it's really disappointing. Before I read chat, because I'm going to get off, I lose my train of thought when I start reading chat. I'll get to you guys in just a second. It's just disappointing that every week, no matter the caliber of opponent, doesn't matter if it's a San Jose State or if it's an LSU, you're the get-right week for everybody. Hell, I'm pretty sure we were Colorado State's get-right week. They just couldn't put it together in the end of the ball game. They stumbled around and found a way to lose that game. It's more of the same, and it continues to be disappointing. I'm not putting this on Barry Lunney, not doing that, because this isn't his product. He didn't build this. This is Chad Morris's product. Yes, the staff, including Barry, who's a part of it, but I'm not giving him full blame here. Barry, he had a bye week to prepare, and that's more than most coaches get in his position. But nothing was going to change overnight. Nothing. You could have had a month to prepare for this game. Nothing would have changed. Maybe you would have gotten another half of a quarter of effort like we saw in the first quarter. But that's really it. Like, it's not even how it's not about just how great LSU is and how bad Arkansas is. It's just that the finished product on the field, it's a reflection of Chad Morris. It's a reflection of Craddock play calling. There's nothing anybody could have stepped in as an interim head coach that they could have done that could have done anything different against LSU. But I'm going to say that first half effort was there. It certainly looked like had LSU or had Arkansas had KJ not slid early on that third down, how do you not know where you're at on the field? That's still dry. I know they're freshmen. It was all the freshmen making mistakes. Ricky Stromberg had a couple of false starts. Had things not gone the way that they did, you could maybe make an argument for a few more points on the board. But at the end of the day, they covered the spread. It could have been a lot worse. LSU obviously called the dogs off. They were subbing in and out in the second half. But it's still just I'm ready. I'm ready. I know a lot of you are as well. Are just ready to get the next guy in. And the next guy, whoever that is, better know and understand what they're walking into. You've already got guys transferring. You've already got decommitments out the rear, and we all knew that was coming. That's typical, especially when you fire a coach with 3 weeks left in the regular season. But the next guy in had better know what he's walking into and better understand what it takes to be successful at Arkansas. I don't care who that guy is. At this point, it's like just throw in someone who could put a better product on the field. It's just bad. Excuse me. I get all the bad coaches mixed up sometimes. Chavis, what's he paid, $1.5 million? He wasn't fired. He's still got a job somehow, and that the product that he puts out on defense is terrible. It's just I don't know. I don't know how you want to say. I don't know how things could get much worse, but I mean we've already said that before. After Bielema's last season and after last year, I just don't know. I mean, I've heard this said to me over and over. Arkansas is the Vanderbilt of the SEC. That might actually be a compliment. They're not. They're below that. They're probably like the worst of the worst years at Kansas in the Big 12. That's what Arkansas is right now to the SEC. Like they're below Kansas and Vanderbilt right now. When you're when you're looking at 2-10, when you're looking down the barrel of 2-10, back-to-back years, that's atrocious. I don't really know. I don't know what it's going to take other than just someone who knows what they're walking into, and maybe someone who's been a part of a rebuild. You look at what's going on over at Baylor. You look at what Campbell's done with Toledo and Iowa State. I know people love to keep mentioning Leach and Lane Kiffin. McElroy could be the bigger dumbass to broadcast any game. He has got to be one of the worst color. Whatever his role is with the SEC network, the guy is terrible. That guy is awful. It's like he goes on this rant. I'm sorry, Chicken, your comment was held, but let me allow that. I don't know why YouTube. Well, I know because you said the word ass. My content's not meant for children, YouTube. I clicked the little button like you tell me to. He made a comment about in the third or fourth quarter, about how Arkansas doesn't put out great talent. Is this guy new to covering Arkansas? That's always been a problem, and they've been able to overcome it before. Then he talked about KJ. Why did he slide? Why didn't he try to body the defender? Now I'll admit the volume was a little low. Dogs were barking, kids were yelling. Maybe I didn't hear him correctly, but he really asked about KJ sliding instead of trying to body for the first down. Did he prematurely decide to slide? Yes. Should he have maybe tried to kneel down or do something, try to slide a little bit later in the motion? Probably. The guy has a bum shoulder. He's a true freshman, and he's a quarterback. He's not Cam Newton. I know he's got a big body, and they kept talking about that. But you're talking about a true freshman with a bum shoulder. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And then he goes on talking about the woes of in-state recruiting when you've got to go to other states to recruit. Wisconsin's got to do it. Wisconsin's got to go to other states. Hell, Oklahoma State has a hard time recruiting against Oklahoma. They're able to win. I know that those aren't SEC conferences, but still, when you look at the job, when you look at Oklahoma State, they're down years the last 8-9 years. They're down years. They're 8-4. And Oklahoma State's been able to do it. You're going to tell me that Arkansas can't? Get the hell out. Get the hell out. He's got to be the worst. I hate it when he covers Arkansas games. He really pulls stuff out of his ass. I'm so glad someone feels the same way I do about him. I was saying that. We were next door having a Friendsgiving, watching the game with our neighbors, Jessica and Alex. And Alex and I were talking about that a little bit. Like, I don't know. How can you be so just... Do you not do any research before you do a game? I don't know. Arkansas is the mountain pine of the SEC. That's pretty good. That's a good one. Let's see. I believe the top 5. Oh, you're talking about coaching. Okay. Mizzou is losing to Tennessee 24-20. Tennessee's been able to turn it around. Look at that. Yeah, Celtics for life, talking about the situation. I don't – like, I had more of a problem with that than what I saw on the field with Arkansas. McElroy, that guy just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Now, he made a comment earlier – I think it was earlier – was it this year where he said Arkansas is the toughest job in the SEC? It's real easy to say that when you've won 4 games or it looks like you're going to win 4 games. It's real easy to say that. Yeah, okay, 2 seasons, you're projected at 4, 5 wins, whatever it was at the time when he said that. It's just, I don't know. I try watching him and when he does his show on the SEC network, and it's like he only understands what's going on at 2 schools. Well, okay, the relevant schools in the SEC, Georgia, Alabama, and LSU. It's like he doesn't know about the rest, and he just pulls stuff out of his ass, and it's just ridiculous. Let's see. Fire Chad Morris, laugh out loud. Wait a minute, that already happened. All I heard was the coach not motivating the players. Let's be real. The caliber of players are not there. And the teams we lost to was better. Patrick, thank you for stopping by and thank you for your comment. But I don't know that you're not entirely wrong, but you're not entirely right either. What you see on the field is a reflection of what Chad Morris has built over the course of a year and a half. Again, like I said earlier, you're not going to have overnight changes. You're not going to have. You could have 3 weeks to prepare for LSU or anybody, and nothing is going to change. It's just like when Petrino was fired. I know it's easy, and it is fun because John L. was not a good – it's easy to say that, but He wasn't a good option. They had a horrible year, but at the end of the day, that was Petrino's product. Now, the difference is Petrino knew what the hell he was doing. He was an excellent play caller, and he could deal with what he had on the field and could work with whatever you had out there. But once you took him out of the equation, it all fell apart. With Chad Morris, it's like it all fell apart even when he was the head coach. But at the end of the day, these are his fingerprints are all over that product on the field. His fingerprints are all over what you're seeing. And, the players gave up. Players weren't interested in playing this game, especially in the second half. What the hell are you playing for? And I'm sure some of them are thinking, I'm just going to hit up that old Bobby Hopper transfer portal on my way out of the state. I'm sure that was, had come across their minds a little bit. You could see it on their faces. I mean, they would pan over to the sidelines. It looked like they didn't give two dams about what was going on the field. So, I'm not putting it all on the staff, but or all on either side. But there's no doubt that Chad Morris, this is a reflection of what we saw from Chad his entire time as the head coach. There was no progression. There was no step in the right direction, and the finished product is exactly what you got tonight. McElroy seems like the blissfully ignorant type. Yeah, I don't know. I know he sounds good when he's behind a microphone, but when he covers Arkansas – first off, he doesn't want to spend much time talking about him, and I wonder if some of that has to do with the fact that he just doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. I don't know. It's like he doesn't do his homework. Struggling to recruit the in-state, or struggling to recruit the state of Arkansas is tough, or trying to reach into other states is tough, but there's other programs that do it. You look at some programs that have had success. Arkansas's had success in some years where they've had horrific in-state talent. They've been able to go into East Texas. Did he not see what Chad Morris did despite being a terrible head coach? Did he not see, after going 2-10, what he was able to do going into East Texas? Did he just completely ignore that? God, he's but Trino couldn't control his motorcycle or the Blondes. Let's see. O-line got completely overrun most of the time. Both sides of the line of scrimmage, no push by the defensive line. They had talent, or not talent. They had young talent. And then the old guard, Sosa Agim and TJ and all those guys. Of course, they lost Dorian Gerald at the beginning of the year, but they had some seniors and juniors. They had some upperclassmen. They had a good mix of young and old, and some young, I think, guys like Colin Clay and Matiel Soli, and the list kind of goes on. They have good young talent. There's a good mix there. And still couldn't get pushed. They're one of the worst pass rush defenses in the SEC, really the country. They are undersized and inexperienced. Offensive line is undersized. I couldn't agree more with that. Let's see. Yeah, they're definitely leaving. I agree. Whoever we hire got to hit the transfer portal hard. That was something I always, Steve Spurrier was kind of known for doing that. When he took over at South Carolina, he hit up the JUCO ranks pretty heavy and was able to kind of made the adjustment and the transition a little bit easier. When you do that, because you're bringing in obviously older guys, you're bringing in guys that have played at a level above high school. Some of them have played Power 5, but you've all watched Last Chance U. They've played in other Power 5 schools, but they ended up having to go JUCO for whatever reason. Steve Spurrier had a nose for that and could find some guys, and that's what he did. Actually, he did that quite a bit at South Carolina, not just his first couple of years, but even beyond that. He knew he needed to hit up the JUCO ranks. I was always a little surprised that Chad Morris didn't go after that a little sooner. Eggnog plus Bailey's, says Nick. That actually sounds really good. Sailor Jerry's in some eggnog. Let's see. Butch Davis. Oh, gosh. No, not Butch Davis. Tanya Henry, how's it going? Hi. Man, I hope we keep Barry, Stepp, and Taylor. If we lose them, this team is going to lose a lot of players. That could be 100% true. My winner's high school football team could beat Arkansas. Man, I'm almost positive. I think that there's some in-state high schools in Arkansas that would be competitive against this team. Ty cannot believe I'm trying to go to the Mizzou game. I might be able to go. It is really difficult for me to leave Northwest Arkansas on Saturdays or on Fridays or Saturdays leading into the week. It's hard. Because of how much we have going on. I have time to do the halftime shows, but that's because I've got this slot prepared. My wife knows I'm going to watch the game, going to have a halftime show over on the Hog Talk Facebook, and then we're going to do the postgame. That's what I have a time slot for. Leaving the house with 2 kids, leaving her by herself all weekend, that's a tough one. But I would love to go down there, but I'm still working out the kinks. Ty, you're doing an awesome job, man. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Chicken World. I really do appreciate that, my man. Mizzou's unis look clean tonight. So what is the score there? You guys have that? With Leach, you just have to hire the right defensive coordinator. Leach is a guy. Look, the receivers you have on staff, man, that is. I don't know if I were Hunter Yurachek, I would really heavily consider, like, okay, we've got talent at wideout, and these aren't just guys that are juniors, or seniors, or a bunch of guys that are redshirted, and we don't really know about their position long term. Like, you've got freshmen. You've got Mike Woods, who's a sophomore. You've got some young talent. Hudson Henry, did you guys see him tonight? Made a couple of grabs. There's some possibilities. Running back, I know in a Leach system that's not, I think he's produced some pretty good running backs. I think he's put some pretty good numbers on the field with running backs. But the future there, I think, is a little questionable, but especially because I don't think Rakeem Boyd comes back. So you're going to have some questions there, but that would be that'd be something I think twice about. Like, if they're loaded at wide receiver, what could someone like Leach do with these guys? At least we have Hog basketball to lean on. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, indeed. University of Arkansas football team sucks, says Jarrett, I can't read it. Something Productions. Jarrett Carrot Productions. Okay. Let's see what has happened to Knox. Has he disappeared? I don't know what is going on with Knox. I was actually going to ask you guys in chat, see if you knew anything, because I have no idea. I know he'd been struggling with was it a hip? He had some sort of injury to his legs, if I remember right, either a knee or hip, something going on. I don't know if that's what the deal is. I'm not really sure. KJ targets Burks every play. He does. That is also true. Burks is his favorite target. Well, but it's hard not to. You see how athletic that guy is. I can't believe people got upset at us when we tweeted that on the Hog Talk podcast Twitter. We said that it was actually Jacob who, and I think he said it on a podcast too, said that he was the most talented athlete, that Burks was the most talented athlete they've had since Darren McFadden. Didn't say he was the best player. Didn't say he was the best wideout. Just say he's the most talented athlete that Arkansas has had since Darren McFadden. And I agree with him, and I cannot believe people got upset about that. John David White will be Drew Morgan 2.0. You heard it here first, says Azazian. What's up, man? Yeah, my DMs are blowing up. DMs are blowing up. People sliding in my DMs. But, yeah, again, for the people, and they're out there on Twitter, they're blaming, they're putting it all on the players, saying that what we saw tonight was all on the players. You're full of shit. Earmuffs, kids, but that is the truth. You're full of it if you believe that. This is absolutely the we're seeing the aftermath of Chad Morris and the product that he put on the field. Does this not look familiar to you? I mean, really, does this not look familiar? This is his fingerprints are all over this. Shut the hell up with that. It's all on the players. And I'm not saying they don't have blame. They do. They have some blame in this. Let's go Razorback basketball. I am really excited about what's going on there. And you guys asked me that on Friday's show about Arkansas basketball if I changed my mind. I'm shifting towards I'm still in let's see what they do once they get conference, once they get in conference play, but you've got Georgia Tech on Monday, you've still got on the road against Western Kentucky, you still got Indiana on the road. Well, Monday could be your first real test, and I'm so excited about that. It's away from Bud Walton. I'm not ready to make a pick yet, but I'm excited about that. How about Jalen Williams? Living the dream. Basketball team's doing a good job. KK, I still believe he's going to be a Razorback. Let's see. I don't know what Josh is saying. Tie the OK in LY. Ty, the players do suck on this team. Well, no one is saying that there's a talent issue, but to say that this is all 100% players, you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. You haven't been paying attention. You haven't been watching football. You haven't been watching the Razorbacks for the last 2 years, especially this year. They have regressed, even with the outstanding recruiting classes. Now, look, it's going to take more than one recruiting class to change the overall talent or lack thereof on your roster, but my God, You don't need 4 stars to beat the likes of San Jose State people. You don't, you don't need 4 stars to not get creamed by Western Kentucky at home. It's ridiculous people are thinking this way. We've seen it before where, talent might be the issue, but a coach comes in and can make the change. I would argue you're seeing that with basketball right now. I wasn't the only one saying it when I said that talent could be an issue this year for the basketball program. Look what Musselman's doing. He has found the thing that they're great at, which is defense, and he has ran with it. He has absolutely taken off their ability to guard the perimeter, holding teams to – I mean, they gave up their most 3 points all year against God, who'd they just play? Someone help me out. I'm brain farting here. Who'd they just play last night? Oh, my God. I'm going to wait on chat. I'm brain farting. I'm waiting for it. See how far behind you guys are. Arkansas basketball about to be crazy. With Jalen Williams committing too. Okay, you guys are taking too long. I'm going to find South Dakota. Good God. Oh, man. But if you go back and watch that game, they had 3-point shots. Their perimeter defense outstanding. They're heading in the right direction. You could argue that's exactly what he's doing. He's doing more with less. Now, it's a different sport, but I think the right guy, the right coach could absolutely come in and help these guys out year one. I'm not saying they go bowling, but I think you get a better product than what you've had under Chad Morris. But for anybody to sit here and say that this was all a player issue, lack of talent, that's the bottom line problem, you just haven't been paying attention. You have not been watching Arkansas football. Maybe you have, or I don't know. Maybe you've just come around to watching the games. I don't know, but that is not. That's a reflection on coaching. And it's interesting, the game that Chad Morris isn't there, they get blown out, and people are like, oh, wait, now the light bulb's clicked on. It's all on. It's just the players. That's what the problem is. It's not the coaching staff. Let's see. I like what Mark Dodson's saying here. Fishman, I couldn't remember either. I don't know why, I guess because it's South Dakota. It's not a Power 5 school. Seems to me like we need an absolute authority figure like Bobby with a proven system. Doesn't need to be a dick or anything, but just a proven high-level system guy. Mark, I agree. I think it's got to be someone of that caliber. Let's see. And you are the leader of this thing, BMD. Shut up. You're the leader? Get out. See ya. Let's see, Jimmy Witt. List, I have to say our defense is better than average, but the 3-point shooting, we got lucky since a lot were, hang on, chat's moving here. Well, where'd it go? Okay, since a lot were open, they just couldn't make it. Their 3-point shoot, both teams kind of struggled there. What was Isaiah Joe? What was their 3-point shooting in the beginning? 0 for 14 in the first half? Wasn't that what it was? That was terrible. Seals was he's finally got his first 3-point shot. They're going to have to get that figured out. We've said that all along. We've said all along you're going to have a plan B. If they don't have plan B installed, if you're not connecting at 3-point range and you don't have a plan B because you don't have bigs, it's going to be hard to feed inside and get much done inside. You're going to have to figure it out. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you do, but they are not doing it. If they come out and they start off 0 for 14 against the likes of Georgia Tech maybe even, or at Western Kentucky, at Indiana, against, proven teams, it's going to be tough. It's going to get pretty ugly quick. Let's see. Is Lane Kiffin an attractive option for the fan base? I think that he is, given his history. The only problem is the skepticism with Lane Kiffin is that he's a job hopper. That's kind of I think that's where the skepticism comes from. There's a lot of questions with Lane, and not only that, I don't want to say that he hasn't done great things where he's at, but he hasn't exactly set the world on fire down there in Florida. So I think that's also some of the issues here. Let's see, Kiffin Train. He's a good recruiter, good offensive mind, all prerequisites to successful. I wouldn't have a problem with Lane Kiffin. I wouldn't. Again, like I said the other night, I wouldn't protest Kiffin. I wouldn't protest Leach. Definitely wouldn't protest Campbell, guys like that. Let's see, what saddens, I think you meant saddens me? Is that what you meant, Josh? What saddens me the most is we have one more game and then on to the next one. Will it be better next year? Scary shit. Well, Stark will have a chance next year at being our quarterback, Jay. It's all going to depend on what they bring in. If they bring in another RPO offense, which, God, I hope they don't. But if they do, maybe I'm burned by the RPO because Arkansas just hasn't had success with it the last 2 years. Maybe I'd feel a little bit differently about it if they had success with it. I just have not been impressed with what I've seen. Hell no on Kiffin. Who's quarterback next year? I don't know. Cody, I have no idea. I don't know what they're going to do. It depends on who transfers out. Hicks is done with. Does KJ move on if they don't bring in an RPO guy? Does he stick it out if they bring in someone like Leach who likes to throw the ball? Again, you guys saw, and I talked about this at the halftime show on the Hog Talk podcast Facebook, on the Facebook page. There's a reason why that guy hasn't played much until now. He's got a lot of work to do when it comes to the passing game. He's got a lot of work to do, and it's not just because he's a freshman. His passing mechanics are raw. He's just got to work on it, and that's what happens. You got to bring in a quarterback coach and someone who could get this guy to the next level, which is being a competent Power 5 quarterback, and then maybe you bring him to the next level and the next, and so on and so forth. And he's just not there. And again, when you're not here during the spring, and I remember saying this in some videos earlier in the year. Or maybe it was in the summer, but him not being here in the spring really concerned me. I really wanted him here during the spring. He couldn't make it. His high school, I guess, just wouldn't allow it. Some schools just don't have that. It's just not something you can do at some schools. I think it was huge for him to miss out on that. Let's see. First, your thoughts on Fickle. I don't know, man. The jury's out. Like, the jury is out on so many of these names, but at the same time, I'm almost like I would take just about anything. Tennessee won. Okay, Tennessee did win. Good. Did LSU grab the boot, or did they leave it like the Ole Miss game? I saw that. Ty, where do your loyal followers buy that shirt? I get asked that all the time. We didn't get enough orders. We had a bunch of people that wanted the shirt, but then when it came time to ask people, like, okay, do you really want the shirt? No one, like, everyone went blank. We asked our Discord, which is 50-plus people in our Discord, I think, right now. And no one really responded. We had like 2 people. I think our minimum order has to be like 15 shirts. So I've talked to Jacob about it. That's what I would do. Hit up Discord you can like you do on Twitter, at Jacob, and ask him about it. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome shirt. Let's see. Arkansas could beat Missouri. I don't know about that. Austin. KJ ain't that good after all. Let him go. I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying that. KJ needs to be developed. He's raw. That's not uncommon for a freshman quarterback, especially a guy that's, baptized in the RPO in high school. And there's a difference in developing quarterbacks at the high school level, obviously, compared to Division I college football. In high school, a lot of times it's like, can you just run the offense, and what are your talents? We're gonna use those to our advantage. And for example, we see how strong of a runner he is in the RPO, but the kid he's just so raw in the passing game. I'm telling you, it's gonna take at least another year to get that. I think to really get his arm down, to improve. He's got arm strength. And I think he's got high potential. I'm not willing to walk away from him. I don't think that at all. Absolutely not. I think he's got a pretty high ceiling, but I think his abilities are better utilized in an RPO system. I don't know when you talk about air raid and you want to run an air raid offense. I don't know. It might take a little while there. Do you think Lunney Jr. could possibly here? I think he might work here as a head coach with a new defensive coordinator. We talked about that on the Hog Talk podcast. Porter said that it just wouldn't be the right timing. If anything, for people who are interested or concerned with the economics, the financial side of what's going on at the University of Arkansas, with what Barry Lunney has done at the one position that's been the most proven, between it and maybe running back position, since he's been here. The tight end position has been a strength almost every year he's been here. He's molded, he's evaluated, he's developed some pretty damn good tight ends. And there's schools all over the country that bring in great talent at their positions and don't churn them out like Barry has at the tight end position here. That's a reflection of him as a coach. He knows what it takes to win here. He understands he's going to have to go recruit Texas. He's going to have to put a fence up around the state. He's going to have to try and, recruit the neighboring states. I think he understands that. If anything, the timing, in my opinion, would be perfect. If you're concerned about the financial side of things, okay, you don't give him a huge contract. He doesn't have a huge buyout. You get a couple of years, maybe you bring in some exciting name as an offense coordinator. Maybe you bring in someone who you wouldn't think at the offense coordinator position. You give him a good salary. You bring in a good defensive coordinator, although we've been down that road. But you bring in some names. You build a significant staff. Maybe he brings Pittman. We've heard that over and over about how badly Pittman wants to come back to Northwest Arkansas. Maybe he does that. Maybe he can build a confident staff. Arkansas is not his only stop, by the way. This isn't the only place he's been at. He was a quarterback coach who was at San Jose State and I think Tulsa. He's been around a little bit. I'm not advocating for him. I'm saying that if you're concerned about the economics, if you're concerned about just hiring and firing over and over and over, and because of that, the result of that being broke or leading to having no money for another coach, maybe I don't know, for those of you, again, who are concerned about that, you give Barry a couple, maybe 3 years. I don't know. Build up, with someone like Pittman, maybe you can bring in some quality, high-quality recruits, whatever that is. I don't know that we'll see Chad Moore's type recruiting again with the next staff. I don't know, but you do something like that. You build a confident staff. You get it here. You build an offense. You build, you put your product on the field. Maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. And if it doesn't, you walk away. You don't have a huge buyout. You don't have to worry about all that. I don't know. Just brainstorming out loud, but obviously the right way to go, we believe, is to go out and get a big-name coach. Maybe that is the route we take. We had Alyssa Orange on, and she had a lot to say about that. She said that, that's what Hunter Yurchek's going to have to deal with. It's knowing, do you go with your heart or do you go with your head? Or do you go with the guy that's going to excite the fans, he's a big name, or do you go with someone who maybe doesn't light the world on fire when you announce him as your next head coach, but you feel like in your gut and in your brain that he's the option? What does Hunter do? Or is that perfect guy out there where he's a little bit of both? I don't know, man. This is why I don't have an issue with why CEOs make the kind of money they make. This is why I don't care. I don't care what kind of money an athletic director makes. These are hard decisions to make. And he knows he's got the entire state watching his every moves. Hell, we're tracking planes already. Our Discord is full of people tracking planes. He knows that, and he's got to get it right. I've said it here before. We always seem to find a way. The financials, people get caught up in that too much. Like, oh, God, we're going to be broke and we can't afford to do anything. Well, they'll find a way, and they always have. Let's not forget, they get a nice fat check every year from the SEC for their network share, and then on top of all the other ways that they get, from donors and the Razorback Foundation, it always works itself out. How often do you hear about Power 5 programs, going broke and then, they're so broke that they drop out of Power 5 or they're reduced down to FCS level? Like, how often do you hear that? I don't have an issue with, I'm not saying you got to fire a coach every 2 damn years when they don't work out, but I guess I just don't get as upset about it. Like when you're walking away from Brett Bielema and then you're walking away after not even 2 years from Chad. You got to find the right guy. But that's what's on the table here for Hunter, and I hope that he gets it. I don't know. Let's see. Agreed with everything you just said about Barry Ty, says Chiefkin. I hated the commentators talking down on Arkansas for firing Morris. We didn't want to at all. We know it's a bad look. The players hated him. No choice. Celtics for Life says the SEC should have 3 teams in the top 4 after Oregon just got beat. Yeah, you got Oregon. So they lost, right? So, okay, Oregon dropped. But Ohio State won against the top 10 team. LSU won tonight. The question is Porter believes that Clemson should be in. Maybe they are. To me, Clemson is like an underwhelming team throughout the regular season. Go back and look who they played. My God, the ACC is terrible. I thought the Big 12 was bad. The ACC might be the worst of the Power 5s. And so there's a real argument right here. Like, who is that number 4? And this is why they should expand the damn playoffs. Don't at me. Make the playoffs bigger. Give me more. I feel like Lunney might be able to win and let his coordinators coach. His Arkansas background I really like. He could be a Houston Nut type coach. All great coaches with big names were nobodies. That is very true. And we have seen position coaches with no head coaching experience take over other jobs. Philip Fulmer at Tennessee was their offensive line coach. Now he was co-offensive coordinator, but I don't think he didn't call the plays. He was their offensive line coach for a little while, and then he became their head coach, and the rest is history. Look at Dabo Swinney at Clemson. Let's see. Pac-10 is horrible as well. Yeah, Pac-10 is pretty bad. All right, I want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by. I think we're going to end it here. Basketball, yeah, we're at 43 minutes. That's a pretty good time. Pittman is a great head coach in waiting. And look, that might be, maybe that's the decision you got to make. Maybe Pittman is the guy. There's a lot of steam around his name. Again, I'm not advocating for him. Please, for the mother of God. But maybe that is the right. Maybe that's the head decision. Like, okay, he's well connected. We know what he can do with recruiting around the offensive line. That's been a problem at Arkansas now for the last few years. The big names they do bring in haven't really, they haven't lived up to it. Like, we need help along the line of scrimmage, especially on the offensive line. Maybe he's your guy because he can help build that, and he could build a confident staff because of how well connected he is, because of his history as an offensive line coach. Let's see. We'll read a couple more. O-line and the DBs are the worst part of the team. We got to look at the portal and JUCO for them. Yeah, secondary is terrible. Defensive line is terrible. Offensive line is terrible. You don't really have a quarterback. They don't have a quarterback that can run this RPO on a consistent, like it seems like anytime they get a little bit consistent, all of a sudden they just drop off. They got to call timeouts. They look lost. I had some words with a Texas fan, and he said the Big 12 is the best conference in the world. I said, but that bag of shit in the SEC, and let's see. I said, but the bag of shit in the SEC, and what happens? I don't know. I think you're missing something, or maybe I'm getting glasses, I promise. Did you see the guy holding the sign that said Chad Morris already got the boot? I did see that. Finally get the O-line back to Big Uglies. Ty, how about Well, yeah, okay. Yeah, the Mavs. Yeah, Celtics, man, they can't stay healthy. Celtics, it's going to be a long year, I think, with all these injuries. Kiffin wants the Florida State job. Don't want a second option. Arkansas head coach needs someone who wants to come here. This is Joshua Long. Musselman for football head coach. Again, you look at what he's doing with what little he has. I don't think they have, other than Isaiah Joe. By the way, did you guys see this? Someone corrected me on my last video. I didn't know this. It literally had been published. I think the article was published a few hours before I went live. But CBS Sports has Isaiah Joe as a top 15 pick in the 2020 draft. So you do have Joe, but outside of that, like, what do you really have to work with? Not hating on the guys. I think Chaney could be outstanding. Witt has been incredible. Bailey has been nice to see. Mason Jones. They're playing at higher levels than I thought. They're going to be competitive. I can't wait till Georgia Tech Monday, guys. I'm thinking we go live Monday night. I'm thinking about holding off the typical Monday show, and I might do a post-game show after the Georgia Tech. I'll let you guys know. I'll try to keep you updated here on Twitter, on Discord. Oh, yeah, by the way, Discord. Let me throw that up, too, before we go, for anybody who wants it. We used to get a lot of people asking for it. Where are you guys at? You don't want it anymore? You don't want to join? Let's see. Your invite expires in one day. I got to change that. I don't like how they did this. Now you got to go in and, like, you have to physically – like, this is stupid, Discord. Come on, just let me push the link. Generate a new link. Copy and paste. But here you go. Here's the for those of you who want to join in on the conversations had over there. I meant put that bag. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay, Celtics. Let's see. Helping Mike Leach is on the way. Leach is known for making mediocre quarterbacks beast passers. He has done that. Look, I'm telling you guys, things are so bad here. I'm just like, whatever. Just get him here. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling like what the Must Bus is doing with the Razorback basketball program. It's incredible. I love it. All right. If you guys have any questions, ask now or forever hold your peace until Monday. I don't have time to watch these. Wish I could get on Discord more. Oh, Robert. Yeah, man. It's been fun over there. We've been playing tracking. Yes, post-game show Monday. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do a post-game because, they're going to get back to the regular schedule. But maybe we do a post-game on the Georgia Tech game. I think that'd be fun. Hopefully it's a good one. Hopefully they just beat Georgia Tech on the road. Imagine what Leach could do with Jordan Jones, Knox, and Burks. Well, Knox and Burks and Woods and Hudson Henry. God, we keep forgetting about him. It was good to see him. And he retained his red shirt, by the way. Okay. Well, final thoughts. Terrible, but expected. Not blaming Barry Lunney. It's hard. You just can't. He's an interim coach. It's hard to blame a guy. And just ready to get the next guy here. Do you think Chavis has a chance of being defensive coordinator? No. Nope. He needs to retire. He needs to hit the road. I don't. I mean, the defense has regressed somehow under him. Like I said earlier, Chad was an A&M insider set to destroy us. Nick, you might have been on to something, my man. You might, yeah. You may not be wrong. If you guys want a post-game show on Monday, I will post. I tell you what, we'll post a poll on Twitter and on here. Answer there. If you guys want a post-game to the Georgia Tech instead of our normal 5 o'clock, do we know what time that Georgia Tech game is, by the way? Look, we're not even breaking down the LSU-Arkansas game. That's how freaking terrible Arkansas is. We don't even care. Let me look that up. I'm sure someone's already hit it, but let's see. Okay, 6 p.m. So, all right, we'll have a post-game show. Look, wow. Look at this. The ESPN Basketball Power Index has changed. It was in favor of Georgia Tech, I think, by like 70%. Now it's down to 56.9. I think it ought to be lower than that. I think it ought to be like 50-50. Georgia Tech is 2-1. I think they've had a little break here. I don't know that they when did they play last? But they're 2-1, 1-0 at home. I think they did okay at home last year, but they just were not a very well put together team. They beat NC State at NC State, and they beat Elon. I went to school with a kid named Elon. Who's Elon? Let me pull that up. Uh-oh, internet's acting stupid. The Elon Phoenix. Okay, but they So that's what they're doing. But they're two and was it 2-1? Hang on, I thought I said 2-1. Yeah, they're 2-1. They lost to Georgia, 82-78 at Georgia. So 6 p.m. on the 25th. I hope I can watch it. It says here it's on the ACC network, but I'm assuming I have YouTube TV. So I'm assuming I can watch. God, I hope I can watch. I don't know how I'm going to do a post-game show if I can't at least watch the game. We'll do it anyways. I don't care if I'm able to watch or not. Post-game show, we'll have I'll do a poll. We'll do a poll. If we get enough votes for it, we'll do it. So if not, we'll just do normal, 5 o'clock. Let's see. If Chavis is gone, then Craddock is gone. Oh, yeah, there's no doubt about that. ACC Network. Yeah, it's on the ACC Network. I'm assuming I'm still going to be able to watch that on YouTube TV. Ty cover more basketball, too. Love your content. Yeah, so we are. I mean, we did the last live stream was mostly basketball. We're now transitioning. We're getting out of football. All right. Okay, that's it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate the support. Again, if you haven't already, tap the subscribe button. And check out the links down below. Again, thank you guys to these people really quick. Again, I want to give you guys shout outs. October Patreons, Timothy Whiseant, George Rector, Randall Hunt, Tyler Edmonson, and Danyel Hadley. Some of you guys have been on that Patreon list for a while, but I appreciate every single one of you. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate that. And to those of you who have donated to the PayPal as well, thank you so much. It goes a long ways. I really do appreciate it. So hopefully we'll see at some point Monday. I kind of want to do this post-game show. So I'll put that poll up on Twitter and here and go take the poll. Go do it. Okay. I'm tired. I'm going to go eat some more chicken, turkey, whatever it is I was eating. It was turkey. That's what it was. And I'm then going to go to bed. So you guys have a good night, and I'll see you on Monday at some point. Go Hogs.